Dream with your eyes wide open by teaching yourself how to meditate in motion. You don't have to sit in a room alone with your eyes closed, assuming a certain specific physical posture. You don't have to do that. That has nothing to do with meditation and everything into buying into a system that makes you believe that it does. It's all nonsense. Whatever posture the physical body assumes has nothing to do with metaphysical consciousness. You could be standing on your head and meditating, lying on your back, lying on your stomach, running, walking, swimming, and still meditate. As a matter of fact, if you look at surfers, that is their meditation, man. That's how they're connecting with the infinite. The water is a direct representation of life. And the surfboard is the conduit that allows them to connect to that because they are comprised of water. Ask any surfer how they feel out there. They're communing with their soul. They are meditating. That is their connection. That's their getaway place. That's how they get rid of all of the density of this terrestrial matter that accumulates inside their subconscious and weighs them down with emotional barriers and emotional burdens. That's the whole point of meditating. People seem to always get it wrong because they've got to follow these instructions that are given by these pretentious, disingenuous characters that pretend to be something that they're not. That you have to go into a quiet room with Tibetan singing bowls and incense and candles and sage and sit quietly with yourself with your eyes closed in a specific posture that you have to assume, with your hands on your legs, with your palms facing up, and all of this stuff, and the Om, and the third eye, and the chakra, and all of the things that they fed you. It's just unnecessary nonsense. You have to formulate what you believe meditation means to you, and then go about doing it. You can meditate in motion with your eyes wide open, because if you're closing your eyes, you're missing out on life. What's the point of closing your eyes to anything? That's why you have been given eyes, to use them. You've been given a voice to use it. You've been given tears to use them. As a matter of fact, your tears are your greatest virtue. Your tears are your greatest virtue. Your tears are the voice of your heart and soul. Listen, because contained within each drop is an infinite ocean of wisdom. You are given things that you don't even use, just like what you call an imagination. You see how they condition you to be average and normal and common and everyday normal folk? How they condition you to be pedestrian and not extraterrestrial? Because you are extraterrestrial, but you just don't believe yourself to be because they didn't motivate you to believe that truth because they never made you aware of it when you were a kid. They told you, what do you want to be, Billy? A fireman? A police officer? An astronaut? And if you're a little girl, of course, they line you up for the marriage industry, which is a multi-billion dollar a year industry. And what exceeds that industry? The divorce industry, which is 10 times more than the marriage industry. Think about it. You've been lined up to be destined for failure. And it's not necessary. Why? Because you establish an unconscious relationship with these things and you believe these things to be in a certain way, and then they are. Because how you perceive it to be is how you made it already. You made it that way. And that's how you see it. Because your unconscious energy saturates these things. That's what allows your perceptive lens to observe them in such a way that is conducive to the alignment of your belief systems, which are all disempowering in nature. You see how it works? How they get you to destroy yourself. The darkness will always give you everything you need in order for you to destroy yourself. Come correct with that statement because it's true. That's why you get up every day and begrudgingly go through life. Another day, coffee, and traffic on the parkway. I can't stand my job. I can't stand my boss. That type of thing. They made you that way. Instead of waking up, being grateful and appreciative of God giving you these gifts of life, you wake up like, God, I can't take it. When is this going to end? That type of mentality. That was unnecessarily implanted in you for a reason. They create an undesirable reality for you, and they throw you in that pit. They don't do it for themselves. They don't live a life of misery, depravity, and deprivation? Heck no. They're living the opposite. There's two sets of rules, one that you must obey, that they've written, and one's for them that have no rules. They can do whatever they want. So does it not stand to reason to say that you need to check yourself and say, I'm not going to be privy to these things or exposed to these things or subjected to these things anymore? I'm not going to be a part of that craziness or insanity or lunacy that they are unnecessarily forcing and thrusting upon me. This artificially induced volatility that is absolutely unnecessary, that only serves the purposes of getting me to destroy my own life, at the same time revering people who are inhuman creatures. It's pretty much self-explanatory at this point. I think so.